carry an exciting documentary of our history on a 22-month, 17,000-mile journey that will stop at 76 cities. As a symbol that will bring together the richly diverse mosaic of local bicentennial events going on in every community. The Freedom Train is a national bicentennial event. It is estimated that upward of 40 to 50 million people will view the Freedom Train, indeed an unforgettable bicentennial experience. The Freedom Train is a people's train, of, by, and for the people. It brings a rich, new, fresh spirit.
The Freedom Train got started in the best possible place for creating a new train, an old converted railroad station in Lebanon, New Jersey. A group of people, experts, were assembled to explore the possibilities of a dream. The dream of Ross Rowland, a young stockbroker. His love of trains and country suggested a special kind of event for the nation's bicentennial celebration. A living, traveling documentary that would move across the continental United States, that would bring historical documents and artifacts to millions of Americans. It would be called the American Freedom Train. He wondered if it was possible. After months of meetings, discussions, planning, and fundraising, the dream turned to reality one morning in Venice, Florida, when a group of skilled craftsmen began changing the look of old baggage cars, getting them ready to become part of the Freedom Train. The cars had been retired, were out of service. Cars that long ago moved across the continent, carrying their cargo of goods to help make the country go. Now they were being brought back to life to carry a new, very special, priceless cargo of the nation's history. And a gathering of people went to work on them with as much tender, loving care as a blowtorch and their skills would allow. On the other side of the continent, in Richmond, California, other people came together with their individual skills to help transform still other cars. Welders, engineers, carpenters, 50 experienced mechanics to put in a moving walkway that would carry millions of Americans past relics and replicas of the nation's 200-year history. Air conditioning and heating engineers set out to design and build a total environmental system to protect priceless documents from humidity and temperature. Fire equipment experts created a whole new kind of fail-safe system that would protect both artifacts and people. In the course of their work, the people in Richmond, California, and the people in Venice, Florida, would cut their way through several tons of old steel to bring into being a fresh, exciting bicentennial concept of our national heritage. In Larchmont, New York, designer Barry Howard and his staff were creating designs that would transform interiors of old baggage cars into unusual contemporary display modules.
The first major problem in translating ideas into design is to develop a storyline which can be the vehicle through which we can present all the various important documents and objects and graphics which are part of the American experience. All of the varied accomplishments of 200 years of America, from the beginning through now and looking toward the future. These are accomplishments in science, in culture, in music, in art, in philosophy, and in thought. And it encompasses all Americans, because after all, that's what this project is about and dedicated to, all Americans. And they will be handed a wand, which looks very much like this. It's actually a transistorized receiver, and each visitor is asked to hold the wand to his ear as he moves through the train. And in this way, every visitor, adult and child, hears all of the narrative, all of the music, all of the sound effects which accompany the exhibit presentations.
At the end of December 1974 in Portland, Oregon, one of the great iron horses was pulled from its pedestal in a park. No longer a monument to the past, the old engine, like the baggage cars, was coming out of retirement. The children who've been crawling around it for years, pretending and dreaming, would see it alive, back in action. It weighs in at 9,000 pounds. Built in 1941, the Southern Pacific Daylight engine would be used on the western part of the Freedom Train's run. And at the same time, a Reading T1484 was coming out of retirement to take over the eastern part of the trip. A foot shorter and 50,000 pounds lighter to fit into certain small clearances that dot the eastern tracks. January 1975. America's leading builders of industrial exhibits in Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Alexandria begin to transform designs and blueprints into all the exciting displays that would bring the past to life. They were shaping a replica of the theater box Lincoln sat in at Ford's Theater. They were finishing columns and doors and the windows through which you will look into the past, and completing the walls of displays through which the walkway will carry you on your trip across the nation's history.
Then Honest Abe stepped in the cab, and the wheels
in Nashville, Tennessee, capital of country and western music, recording stars Dolly Parton and Porter Wagner were recording their rendition of Here Comes the Freedom Train.
As he drove the train with fury, and freedom did survive.
Once again the train rode westward to California's golden shore, through the desert and the prairie, stronger than before. From Atlantic to Pacific, she rode the rails with pride, and traveled the tracks to glory, that good old American kind.
All aboard America, here comes the freedom train. All aboard America, here comes the freedom train.
These are part of 150,000 models that were created for the purpose of getting a...
Early in February, people in museums all over the country and unique private collectors like Ann and Rundle Gilbert of Garrison, New York, were cataloging, coding, and shipping off artifacts that would fill the Freedom Train's display cars.
This is one of the ones that will be on the Freedom Train.
Now here's a machine for filling cans by Barker, 1878. Now these are all part of the collection that we bought of the original inventions that were in Washington. And each one has the original tag that was placed there in 1878. And this is the history of America.
In miniature.
In miniature.
In miniature, yeah.
From every corner of the earth we have come, bearing gifts of intellect and skill, art and compassion. We are, all of us, Americans, struggling together, suffering together.
In recording studios, stage and film stars were taping the sounds of history. Stars like Ossie Davis, and among many others, actor-singer Richard Kiley.
The woodcutter's song, the plowboy's on his way in the morning, or at noon intermission, or at sundown, the delicious singing of the mother, or of the young wife at work.
Leon Leonidoff, famed director of the Radio City Music Hall, is a member of the Freedom Train's National Advisory Board.
Just you imagine of a child watching this great steam engine of this beautiful red, white, and blue Freedom Train approaching any town of our country. And when I say child, I really mean a child from 5 to 85. You know, I am in this country for 52 years. And that country has done so much for me that you now can imagine how proud I am to be part of this project. Apart of what you will see in the train, we are contemplating some entertainment. Entertainment befitting this great celebration of our bicentennial.
By early 1975, the display cars were being put into final shape. In Venice, in Richmond, the cars were being made ready for final inspection. The special environmental control units were in, ready to be hitched up. The fail-safe fire system tested and ready. Now there was a sense of urgency, and there was a special sense of achievement. Everybody here was now part of the dream, part of the history that would become the American Freedom Train. But planning the trip is more than redoing and revitalizing old engines and cars. The trip itself really got underway with a trial run in late 1974. It was called the Preamble Express. It traveled every mile the Freedom Train would take, testing every inch of the 17,000 miles of track. Because millions of people would come to board the Freedom Train, the Preamble Express stopped at all 76 cities, working out the selection of sites, the trackage, getting reactions from people along the route, meeting with thousands of city, state, county officials. Today, an advance team is once more moving across the country to put all those plans and details into final form, coordinating and helping with local fairs, shows, and exhibits, tying these local bicentennial celebrations into the coming of the American Freedom Train. The American Freedom Train is no longer a dream. It's a reality. The People's Train, conceived, designed, and built by people from all walks of life, all with the same idea in mind, to bring America's bicentennial celebration to you. President of the American Freedom Train Foundation, John Faust.
A tremendous excitement is building around the coming of the American Freedom Train because it is a people's project. It is a national celebration that's been created by every one of the citizens of this nation. During its 17,000-mile journey across the United States, more than 10 million people will visit the American Freedom Train, and 40 to 50 million people will view it from trackside. By taking our displays and exhibits into everyone's hometown, we had hoped to leave a lasting impression of the nation's bicentennial on everyone's mind. In addition, we'd hoped to provide each locality an opportunity to participate in the national bicentennial celebration. Now, besides the many treasured documents and artifacts that we will have on board the train, we'll also be carrying the Freedom Bell, the spirit that has brought the American Freedom Train from just an idea to reality is catching on, because it is that national spirit that has grown out of our experiences over the last 200 years. And it is a people's project, because every one of us has had a part in creating the living documentary to America's heritage. Everyone's hand is on the throttle to help move the American Freedom Train into our future.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Obviously, I'm tremendously pleased to participate in the official ceremony recognizing the American Freedom Train as a major bicentennial effort. I sincerely hope that every American, as he or she contemplates these historical reminders, will reflect on how far we have come in the short span of 200 years. I strongly urge parents and teachers to make sure that your children and students take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. The cargo on this train represents much of our nation's past history and our hopes for the future. This American Freedom Train will be a fitting symbol for what the bicentennial really represents. Since the day the Golden Spike was driven, the railroad has symbolized our unity as a nation. I look forward to the Freedom Train to provide a unifying symbol of the heritage that made America's great past a great one and will make its future an even greater one.
All aboard America, here comes the freedom train. All aboard America, here comes the freedom train. The freedom trains are rolling down to